really liked, how we competed against the team that competes, particularly down 21. That one group that came in really raised our level, and we stayed with them. They've been in the game 12 straight minutes, whatever. But during that stretch, I thought we really lifted us, and he really throughout the course of the second half. You felt it then, but our intensity picked up, and I think our guys know that that's something that we have to replicate throughout the course of the game, possession by possession.
I know after their second quarter, what was, I guess, your message at halftime to come out in the second half and kind of do?
I think, we were too passive in situations where we were letting them dictate consistently. Just things like ball pressure, our aggression on the boards. We had a couple possessions where we crashed the offensive glass and got extra opportunities. And when you do that, all of a sudden, shots start going in more. And they become really our shots. I thought we shared the ball and broke people down and got each other open and spaced. A lot of things we've been talking about. And the urgency of the game, I think, got us even more focused. But I was, you always want to win the game. Miami's been in, I think, more close games than anybody in the league. And, that's something that we'll continue to work on as well.
With a guy like Trey, when he's used to going, and he just wasn't going tonight, getting clean looks, but not necessarily going in, what do you say to a guy like that?
I mean, he was great. Mm-hmm. Our two guards, they just competed. I thought, in the beginning of the second quarter, Trey defensively, raised his level. He's moving his feet, he's talking, and, he usually goes back in, in that fourth quarter, and I came down to tell him we were going with the group we're going with, so he didn't check himself in, and he was like, I got you, coach, let's go. Mm-hmm. So everybody was like that, not just Trey. So O was playing well. He came in for Quin, and so that's the thing that we need from our team. And that's Trey being selfless, and he kept competing, and yeah, he had a few that didn't go in, but he makes those shots, and everybody wants him to take those shots too. Yeah. So same thing with DJ. Those guys didn't have their best night, but they were as supportive of the other guys on the floor and picking them up and doing those things. And DJ started doing it on the defensive end. Yeah. The other night, gosh, I don't even feel like he missed a shot. Well, tonight, he picked it up on the defensive end, and that's what we need. I think both those two guys, knowing how to impact the game when your offense isn't, it's a back-to-back, and there's always something a little different about that. But we competed. That to me, and there's things we weren't doing in the first half. Some things that were our precision, running, spacing, and if we're not spaced, you can't play together. And I thought the second half that really sunk in, and we saw them doing that, and we had success.
I'm curious about with that last about 8-minute stretch where Bam came back in. You guys have gotten it to 5, and then Jimmy came back in. I'm just curious, kind of what does their presence do that opens things up for guys like Caleb Martin and Tyler Hero?
Bam's, he had a couple big buckets in the lane, in sideline pick and roll where, it was in the pocket and they hit him, and we got to be shifted over a little bit earlier. Our hands got to be a little more active, but he made some of those shots. And, Jimmy Butler's been a clutch player for his whole career, so to guard him late, it's hard. But it's something you got to do it collectively. There's no one matchup. It's going to accomplish that. And that's when again we raise our level, and even offensively as well. We didn't get as many good shots late, and that's something we haven't had in that situation. At least the time I've been here, which isn't very long, obviously. But I thought something we'll improve on. You know, we're attacking collectively late because we've got, you know, we got it with Dre, and they switched the matchup, and that made it harder, and we'll continue to address that and adjust to that as well. That happens with experience.
When calls aren't going the guys' ways, what is your message to them? And like, do you want them to address it to the official, or what do you say to
You know,
them?
it's an emotional game, and you know, guys are competitors, and those things happen. I think the biggest thing is once that occurs, you have to get to the next play, and I thought we did that. You know, I don't mind us being, you know, determined, and how you can call it a lot of stuff, you know. And obviously there's times when, you know, you really hurt your team when you react, and you know, you have to know that. This is an emotional game, and I think that's what happens when guys are competing. And obviously you don't want to have that happen all the time, and there's definitely situations that dictate that. So, but I've got a few T's on my left too.
I was just curious, just for a little clarification, with the offensive foul in Sadiq, were you guys planning on challenging them? They just said that
You know,
it was
a lot of
meant
times with the challenges, you know, we looked at the bench to, that was, the ball got put in really quick. And we got the challenge, and then it was overruled, and, you know, is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's, I didn't think we'll be faster. You know, that's on me.
Thanks, Coach.
Mhm.